Hey, Stokes is considered almost a sure thing for Kansas, but Kentucky hasn't given up. Kentucky assistant coach Jason Hart went to watch the #1 players game at Hoop Hall. Will they be able to change the recruit's mind and get him to join the blue and white team? Let's see the news. But first, subscribe to the channel and keep receiving more news about the Cats. The race for Tyron Stokes continues to be a true reflection of how elite recruitment in college basketball is built far beyond anticipated projections. Even with the dominant perception that Kansas is ahead in the race for the #1 ranked player, Kentucky shows, once again, that it does not intend to walk away from a talent of this caliber without exhausting all possibilities. Jason Hart's presence at Hoop Hall to watch Stokes closely is a clear sign that the program remains committed, attentive, and confident in its own project. Stokes, a forward born in Louisville, carries a symbolic connection to the state of Kentucky, even though he currently plays for Rainier Beach High School in Seattle. This detail doesn't define decisions, but it adds an emotional layer to a process that is already naturally complex. For Kentucky, observing the top player in the class in person is not just a formality. It's part of a direct, human approach aligned with what the athlete himself says he's looking for in his future university. Currently, Kentucky is among Stokes' 3 finalists, alongside Kansas and Oregon, while Vanderbilt recently entered the race with a formal offer. Within this competitive landscape, what differentiates programs is not just a winning record or national exposure, but the ability to provide a real developmental environment, both on and off the court. And it is precisely on this point that Stokes' own words reinforce why Kentucky continues to believe in him. In a previous interview with Rivals, the player was direct in explaining what he's looking for: a coach who values him as a person, who engages in dialogue beyond basketball, and who offers an environment he can call home. This vision naturally connects with Kentucky's current moment under Mark Pope's leadership, who has been structuring the program with a clear focus on relationships, identity, and sustainable development. The philosophy implemented by the coaching staff involves close relationships with the athletes, building trust, and creating an environment that goes beyond immediate performance. On the court, Stokes continues to be analyzed with the rigor expected of a generational talent. Recent evaluations highlight his ideal physique for the position, explosive athleticism, and ability to create advantages in different areas of the game. Although he is not seen as a completely finished player, there is consensus that his technical and athletic foundation offers multiple avenues for development. In a 2026 class that lacks the depth of stars seen in the previous cycle, players like Stokes naturally receive even greater attention, both for what they already deliver and for the potential they carry. Reports also point to aspects that are still under development, such as greater consistency in creating plays on the move and the need to maintain a constant level of motivation. None of this sounds like a warning sign, but rather part of the natural process of a young athlete still shaping their identity at a high competitive level. For programs like Kentucky, this type of profile represents opportunity, raw talent combined with the possibility of growth within a well-defined system. Jason Hart's move to Hoop Hall reinforces that Kentucky understands this moment as strategic. It's not just about watching a game, but about showing presence, genuine interest, and commitment to the athlete. In a recruitment increasingly driven by relationships, this approach remains one of the pillars of the program in Lexington. Even with Kansas being the favorite, Kentucky remains firm, aware that decisions of this magnitude are rarely made solely based on external projections. With Mark Pope leading a project that prioritizes identity, connection, and holistic development, the blue and white program continues to believe that there is still room to turn the game around. Do you think it's possible to turn this game around? The clock showed 34.3 seconds left in the game in Knoxville when Otega Oweh transformed his presence on the court into something that goes far beyond the cold numbers of statistics. With a steal play led by Colin Chandler and a precise pass that found his hands, he put Kentucky ahead for the first time in the game against Tennessee with a calm and accurate shot. It was the perfect definition of a decisive player, someone who doesn't shrink from pressure and takes responsibility when a moment calls for it. The 80-78 road victory was more than just an important triumph on the Kentucky basketball calendar under Mark Pope. It was a clear demonstration of how Otega Oweh can be a key piece in this team, even when his numbers don't reflect his real impact. But, like every great sports story, there are nuances that deserve attention. While Oweh continues to prove he has the courage to shine in crucial moments, and this was clear again against Tennessee and LSU, his free throws remain a question mark in his development. It's not that he's bad at it. On the contrary, his overall season percentage of 74% is respectable and suggests he has the technical ability. However, when every possession counts and the score is close, these misses start to take on greater dimensions. Against Tennessee, he had the chance to tie the game with free throws with 50.3 seconds remaining, but converted only one of two. The miss could have been costly if not for Diabate's grit on the offensive rebound and Denzel Aberdeen's timely shot to secure the victory. Still, it's impossible to ignore that this pattern has been repeating itself throughout the season. Against LSU, when Kentucky was about to complete an epic 18-point comeback, Oweh missed the second free throw that could have put the Wildcats ahead. Fortunately, fate conspired in their favor when LSU also missed their free throws, allowing Colin Chandler to seal the game with a historic basket to Malachi Moreno. And who can forget the clash against North Carolina? A missed free throw in the final minutes kept the game open and ultimately contributed to the 67-64 loss. These episodes are constant reminders that, in close games, details can decide between glory and misfortune. It's impossible not to admire Oweh's mentality. He doesn't shy away from responsibility, even after making mistakes. His willingness to attack the basket and seek creative solutions within the dynamics of a game is something few players possess. He plays as if he's always determined to rewrite any negative narrative, and this characteristic is valuable for a program like Kentucky, which lives under constant scrutiny and expectation. Under Mark Pope's leadership, the team is building an identity based on resilience and mutual trust, and Oweh is a living example of these values. When he steps onto the court, there's a palpable sense that something special can happen, even when the odds are stacked against him. However, for Otega Oweh to reach his full potential and become even more lethal, especially in crucial moments, it's essential that he refines his consistency from the free throw line. In games as balanced as those Kentucky has faced this season, these small flaws can make all the difference. The good news is that the technical work to improve this aspect is already underway, and the team around him has demonstrated a remarkable ability to compensate for these moments of instability. Players like Diabate, with his defensive intensity and ability to grab critical rebounds, and Denzel Aberdeen, with his composure and finishing, have been fundamental in keeping the boat afloat when Oweh falters. The coach has emphasized the importance of building a cohesive team, where all players understand their role and work in harmony. This philosophy has helped minimize individual errors and maximize collective impact. Oweh, with his ability to create plays and take calculated risks, is a central piece in this puzzle. He doesn't need to be perfect. He needs to be true to the aggressive and confident style that has brought him this far. Looking to the future, it's clear that Otega Oweh has all the tools to become an even more complete player. His free throw percentage, while concerning in critical situations, shouldn't obscure the fact that he is a driving force on this team. The hiring of Andrew Coverdale to the Kentucky football coaching staff not only reinforces Will Stein's commitment to building a cohesive and well-structured team, but also brings to light a fascinating chapter of personal and professional connections that shape the program's identity. The arrival of Coverdale, former offensive analyst for Louisville, to the Wildcats is more than just a simple change of sides in the Bluegrass rivalry. It's a reunion that harks back to Stein's roots as a coach and player, as well as the legacy of success they both share. Since taking over Kentucky in early December, Will Stein has demonstrated a meticulous and strategic approach to his decisions, both on the field and behind the scenes. His leadership during the college football playoffs with the Oregon Ducks, while still organizing his team in Lexington, was a clear example of his ability to efficiently manage multiple responsibilities. Now, with Coverdale on board, Stein adds not only an experienced professional, but someone who deeply understands his game philosophy and leadership style. After all, they worked together in high school at Trinity, where Stein set records and Coverdale paved the way for numerous state titles. Coverdale's selection for the role of passing game coordinator reflects Stein's vision of creating continuity between past and present, aligning the experience and values acquired at previous levels of the sport with the demands of elite college football. During his time at Trinity, Coverdale helped develop highly accurate quarterbacks like Cam Smith and Nick Bone, whose completion rates became benchmarks in the school's history. This ability to develop talent will be crucial for Kentucky, especially in a scenario like the SEC, where competition for the skies is fierce and unforgiving. Furthermore, Coverdale's trajectory after leaving Trinity demonstrates his versatility and adaptability. In Cincinnati, he won another state title with St. Xavier in 2020, proving that his success isn't limited to a single environment or context. This diverse experience will be valuable for Kentucky, which seeks creative solutions to maximize the potential of its players and face high-caliber opponents. The fact that Coverdale came directly from Louisville adds a dramatic touch to the narrative. The rivalry between Kentucky and Louisville is one of the fiercest in the state, and the migration of a member of the Cardinals' coaching staff to the Wildcats will certainly attract attention and possibly criticism from fans on both sides. However, this move also highlights Stein's ability to attract high-level talent, even from within the opposing field. It's a clear statement of intent. Kentucky is willing to seek out the best professionals, regardless of where they are, to rebuild and strengthen the program. The personal connection between Stein and Coverdale cannot be ignored either. The fact that Coverdale was Stein's offensive coordinator in high school, helping him set records and win championships, creates a foundation of trust and mutual understanding rarely found in highly competitive environments like college football. This synergy will be vital in implementing an offensive system that not only maximizes the available talent, but also reflects the identity and values Stein wants to instill in the program. As Kentucky football moves forward with its rebuilding process, each piece added to the coaching staff plays a crucial role. With Coverdale on board, there's a sense of completeness and renewed purpose. He brings not only an impressive resume, but also an intimate understanding of the offensive DNA that shaped Stein as a player and coach. Together, they have the opportunity to transform the Wildcats' offense into an efficient and dynamic machine capable of competing against the best in the SEC. The hiring of Andrew Coverdale is more than a strategic move. It's an investment in the future of Kentucky football. With his experience, connections, and understanding of the game, he is positioned to play a central role in rescuing the program's lost glory and building a new era of success. Are you excited about the Wildcats football? I want to see your comments.